HyperX, bro. The one mouse is hot, the other one, Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety Walkie Triple XL. And HyperX has been bought by HP a little while ago and continues to roll out some really nice peripherals. And this time I've gone for the mouse because that's the order of importance. We got audio and then we got mouse products right after that because I do love a good mouse. I find it's probably one of the most personal things that you engage with the PC is the mouse, that it must fit your hand just right and feel really good while using it. And so in one of these instances, they've honestly kind of knocked it out of the park there on. And I'm going to probably look for like a second-hand or an open box dealer one. But anyway, let's go through what's in the box. So you get the mouse inside of both of the packages, but with the Haste, you get considerably more. You get some PTFE feet, some spares as well, the extra virgin ultra glide editions, and then you get some grip tape. So if you are into that and you do want to put it on, they are molded and even branded. So it's going to look absolutely fantastic on the mouse. Then we have the shape of these two mice. They are very familiar shapes. The HyperX Core does give me that sort of like early Razer Mambas type of style with this very flared out towards the front. Whereas this sucker is coming over very like Model O sort of esque, except shorter, a little bit different, and as you can see, ambidextrous for both. So nice ambi shapes. I do like the setup. If we look around the front of the mouse, we can see that the incline and the actual divots inside of the buttons over there for the left and right click are far more pronounced on the Haste. Whereas the Pulsefire Core is going for like a more sleek, kind of normally robust kind of setup. There's nothing really standoutish about either of these shapes, and I'm actually perfectly okay with that because the more general they are, the more hands they're going to fit into. Side button setup is also really good for both of them. I did find, however, on the Haste it was a little bit further back than I would have liked. For some reason, the Core is just like a little bit easier to access over there. Both of them have really good hand fit though. Even on my bigger hand like mine, they were perfectly fine. And I really enjoyed the Haste. I mean, really enjoyed it. I continued to use it until I brought it onto the set over here, basically for about 4 days, which doesn't happen that often. I'm quite fussy with this. There's only about 5 mice that I've found that with. For this one to be at this sort of price point, it's the cheapest one that I sort of have this kind of time with at the moment. So they've done an incredibly good job over here in general with the shape, the feel, etc. I'm very happy with the Haste. If we look around the bottom, we also see it's got sort of 4 small feet in the corners like that, but there's absolutely no issues with the glide. I had to double check my sensitivity because compared to my daily driver, the glide was way smoother, like considerably smoother, because it's got these extra ultra olive oiled extra virgin PTFE feet. Whereas the Pulsefire Core just has a big strip on top and on the bottom and is a lot more default. It's still pretty good on its glide. It's not going to catch on the mouse pad or anything like that, but incomparably better over here on the Haste once again. Now let us talk about the sensor and the performance, the bits that matter. So I play CS generally to test mice because I find that the flicking and snapping in CS is a bit more extreme than a lot of the other games and stuff that I play. And the Haste absolutely delivered. It's why I just kind of carried on using it because it was really comfortable, and the 3330 that's in here does still slap. It's a bit of an older sensor from Pixar, but it's still really good. And I was kind of stunned by the Pulsefire because I actually went on to DM instead of just normal retake with it because I was worried about like 180s and stuff and having to change angle like extremely, and that gives a more natural environment to do that. And it didn't skip out. Even though it's 220 IPS and 30G sensor, it is a little bit of an entry-level sensor, especially at this price point, but it was actually really good, which means the onboard computer and the 1000 hertz and, you know, all of the little bits that are reading and stuff over there are aiding that sensor and actually being a little bit better than it normally would be. But the Haste, however, was absolutely sublime. This is one of my new favorites. I definitely think it enters the conversation really strongly, especially with its price point of 1,200 Rand. That's what it's retailing on Evetech right now. And like I said, it comes with the 4 extra feet, which is usually how mouse die. The corners will lift, and then that's the end of that mouse. And then it's got the grip tape if you're into that. I personally wouldn't put it on just because I don't like it when the glue and stuff comes through and you got to sit with tips and get all of that stuff off. Yeah, disgusting. The Core, however, both of them have a lot of programmability. They both have full Ngenuity software, so you can change polling rates and stuff. But the main thing with that is you can write pretty decent macros. You can edit the times in between the button key presses as well. So it's got a full macro software suite, and that's really where I think this one will go to. It's more like the casual gamer that wants to have a capacity for macros and just wants something pretty well built, whereas the Haste is complete, like top of the line everything. It's going to be very competitive with its weight at 67 grams. I believe the Core is like 80 odd. It was 87. And then what was this guy? 59 grams. 59 grams for the Haste. It's extremely light. Like, it felt fantastic because of that. And yeah, like I said, it almost felt too sensitive because of how glidey the feet are. So I've got to give this a solid like 9.5 out of 10. The only change I would make on this is just to move these forward just ever so slightly, because like I said, reaching the back over here felt a little bit cumbersome at times just to get to that back button. Even if they were to off-center them and make them a little bit uneven, so the front button was slightly smaller and the back button was slightly bigger, that's about the only change I would make. It's got TTC switches in here as well, which are extra crispy, and they feel fantastic. You can click it all the way in the back of the mouse. So usage and stuff on this, just sublime. This is really, really good product. This one, however, it does have a small thing outside of the sensor in the way that they've built the chassis. You can hear it actually bumping off of the button before it presses the button. The clicks themselves are pretty good. They're not shallow and don't sound terrible, and they can go quite far back. It's a unibody kind of design, but if you claw right back on it, you'll still be able to click all the way over here. So, in conclusion then, this one is perfect. Price point, feature set, extras, it's amazing. This one is a little bit premium for what it is, honestly. I think it could do with a little bit of a better sensor and just fix that bit of chassis drift over there that it's got. Like, you can hear there, I'm tapping, but I'm not actually clicking. Just to fix that, put a little bit of a better sensor in. Everything else on it is fantastic. And of course, they come with a little bit of obligatory RGB. You've got a scroll, RGB scroll, and then on the back, you've got HyperX. And I mean, while you're doing RGB, if that's your idea, put some RGB up front over here. That would be quite nice on the HyperX Pulseficore. Anyway, these two, really, really solid. It is nice to see HyperX being taken seriously as far as the production and R&D sort of stuff goes. And yeah, I will probably be getting a Haste as a spare in the near future because I am weak, and I'm especially to mouse. Anywho, that's all I have for you on the HyperX Pulseficore and the HyperX Haste. Until next time, hope you guys stay safe, keep well, and I will see you on the flip side.